Hello and welcome back. As the title suggests, the poem is about the Hiroshima attack, which we are all aware of during the Second World War, towards the end of the Second World War. So, again, the poem is by S.H. Vatsyayan, who is also popularly known as Agyeya. Okay, so the poem talks about that particular day. Agyeya imagines the day and puts forward the day through a poem. So again, the poem is quite hard hitting. It tries to represent what exactly happened on that day and presents a humanitarian take on the Hiroshima attack. So the background is quite simple. We know that America had dropped two atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So this poem is especially focused around the Hiroshima attack, but although the attacks were quite identical, the same destruction happened in both the cities. I think we should start with the discussion now. So, on this day, the sun appeared, no, not slowly over the horizon, but right in the city square. So, when the bomb was dropped, there was a huge bright spot was there, not from east as the sun would rise usually, but it was in the afternoon. So there was one more sun now, and this sun was nothing but the bomb, the atomic bomb. It was not there from east direction. The sun was there right in the middle of the city, but right in the square, city square. So again, the Americans were quite tactical. They had dropped the bomb in the densest populated area in the city, right between this, right in the city square. A blast of dazzle poured over, not from the middle sky, but from the earth torn raggedly open. So this huge blast of dazzle, huge blast of energy, of brightness, it did not come from the space. It did not fall from the sky. Adversely, this bomb was torn open from the earth, meaning this bomb was developed on the earth. This source of destruction did not come from outside. Our people, our men, they have developed this. For what? To destroy ourselves, to destroy fellow human beings. So this blast of dazzle means again, it appeared that there were two suns in that afternoon. So human shadows, dazed and lost, pitched in every direction. So again, we could only see the human shadows. There was no sign of human beings, and there was no time to react as well. Just in some seconds, okay, humans they were lost in shadows. They died. They evaporated. So this was such a death that human beings had never seen such level of destruction ever in history before this. And this was happening in every direction. People had no escape. Even if they try to run away from this disaster, there was no use because it was in every direction. This blaze had covered the entire city, not risen from the east, smashed in the city's heart. So again, this was not because of the sun who rises from the east every morning. This was not that sun. So see, nature is always very kind to us. Even in the harshest summer days, we can still take some shade from trees and our houses. But from this bomb, there was there was no place that anybody could have possibly taken shade. So this was smashed in the city's heart, and again with the intention of killing as many people as possible. An immense wheel. So this was spinning like a wheel, and this wheel was destroying anything in its path. Of death sword, sun car spinning down and about in every direction. So it seemed as if the sun was sitting in a chariot or on some wheel and was spinning around. So this was that hot. People were being evaporated. So that level of heat was there because of this bomb, and in every direction. There was, of course, no escape for the poor innocent people of Hiroshima city. Instant of a sun's rise and set, vision annihilating flare on compressed afternoon. So again, there was an instant sunrise and sunset. Of course, this was not a natural sun. This was a man-made sun, which saw an instant sunrise and sunset as well. So it lasted only for some time, but that some time was enough to destroy everything, to devastate the entire life of those people. Vision annihilating flare one compressed afternoon. So the flare was such bright that people lost their sight. People became blind by such a harsh light, because they had never seen anything like that. So that afternoon has taken away almost everything from the people of Hiroshima. And then, so now Agyeya wants to ask question. He's saying, and then what? After that, what? It was not human shadows that lengthened, paled, and died. It was men suddenly became as mist, then gone. So again, at the beginning, we say that it was human shadows, but of course, they were not shadows, right? They were actual human beings. They were actual people, people with families, people with dreams, people with endless possibilities. And those people died because of what? Because of the enmity of political people some political people who have a button, and whenever they press the button, millions of people die, millions of innocent people lose their life. So this again shows us the value that a common man's life holds. They died like animals, okay, worse death than animals, which was very sad, as Agyeya explains in this poem. It was men suddenly became a mist, then gone. So this was men who almost evaporated from the earth. There was no sign of them, nothing. They were there a second ago, and now they are gone. Okay, without leaving a single sign. After that, the shadows stay. So of course the men are gone now, but the shadows are still there. So of course, without the man, there will be no shadow, of course. But the shadow represents the memories of that man. So some people who survived, they are still carrying the memory of that dead people, because memories, they are immortal, right? Memories can't of course die. Unless a person dies, the memories will live forever in the person's mind. Burned rocks, stones of these vacant streets. So the fire was such harsh, it was hellish fire that even melted the rocks. Even the rocks were falling apart because of such heat. A conjured sun. So again, the last stanza is of course the most important one. He says that a conjured sun. So of course, this was not a natural sun. This was conjured. Conjured meaning created. Conjured, again, conjured has some other connotations as well. Conjured means that in हिंदी we can say that जिसके ऊपर जादू टोना किया गया हो. So it was a conjured sun. It was an exploited sun. Okay, man-made sun, uh, by men converted into a conjured sun by men converted men into air. So this was made by some human beings who targeted human beings to turn them into air. So as I said, just as the bomb exploded, some people they vanished into thin air. They evaporated because it was so difficult to bear such a devastating event, to nothing. And again they became air, and after that to nothing. Even their smell could not be felt by other people, because there was nothing. They were completely gone from this earth without leaving any sign behind. So white shadows signed on the black rock give back man's witness to himself. So again, this line, the white shadows signed, uh, singed, not signed of course, singed on the black rocks give back. So again, these white shadows, when the people died, they must have cried for their life, right? Even though the death was instant, but we believe that even when the body dies, the soul is still there, no? So the people would have had many dreams before dying. So when their souls were leaving their body, they must have cried. Okay, and the streets are the witness to those cries of those men. And there are people who live in lavish bungalows and decide all these things. Okay, that we have to drop a bomb on the city. But again, the people of that city have done you no wrong, right? This is again, the war was between some politicians, some crazy leaders. But what had the people of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the common people of that city, had done to the American, yeah, leaders? They had no fault of their own. And again, the man's witness to himself. So the man is dying, and who is witnessing that? The fellow human being, the other human beings, they are witnessing the death of their fellow brothers. So see, of course, we see that Japanese people, they died. A lot of Japanese people died in this bomb blast. But Japanese people, they are Japanese afterward. But first of all, they are human beings, right? They are humans, and Americans, even they are humans. So again, we humans, we have killed our own brothers. For what? Okay. And again, nothing, not anything, nothing can't justify this act. And Agyeya wants to talk about that through this poem. So again, this is a very important poem, especially for the new generation. And of course, you have learned about these events from history books, but again, Agyeya tries to give it a human touch. Okay, he wants to present a humanitarian angle of how the devastation occurred, and again, how the common people, they had to suffer the consequences of the war. And again, through history books, we learn about the political happenings. Okay, the war happened because of this political leader took such actions, but we never try to understand what were the common people feeling. Okay, what was their point of view in such a terrible war. And Agaya has tried to explain such a point of view, and I really appreciate the effort from the author's side. And again, the poem is again very meaningful. I do not say that what I have said that is the final meaning of the poem. The poem always has many interpretations, and again, I hope that I have at least added some clarity when you will try to make some meaning out of this poem. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other poem to be discussed, you can just comment that down. Thank you so much.